Happy holidays and a Merry Grootmas to you, Valley Club. The Death Scourge is in full effect. How big is your Archangel gonna get after it's done? Scopely is showering with gifts this season. Is it gonna be more gifts or lumps of coal? We're talking all about that and more in this edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. This week, I am joined by my brother, Run 7. And if you're ready for all of that coming up, Run 7, tell him what to do, my friend.
Let's go smash it.
Smooth.
ValleyFlyin.
Hello, happy holidays, my friends. Welcome back to this holiday edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. We do this every single week, and if you have not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. At least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on this channel. And this week, in this edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update, I'm joined with my brother, Run 7, for the holidays. How is your holiday season going, Run?
Going great. We're just trying to stay warm as this cold front sweeps across the U.S.
Yeah, it's snowing in Texas. What the heck is that?
That's
like
right.
Every year it snows in Texas. But before we get to all the news about MSF, and there's a lot to talk about. Not a lot of bad, surprisingly. This is a very, very joyous holiday season. Before we get to all of that, though, I want to ask you, the community wants to know. We've already asked you if Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and you had the correct answer, but I want to know, what is your favorite holiday movie that you and your family are watching this season?
I'm kind of old fashioned. I grew up watching A Christmas Story over and over every year. And I'm a big fan of the, don't shoot your eye out. It's something I like to watch every year. But I did just let my oldest son watch Home Alone for the first time, and he has been setting up booby traps all over the house ever since.
Oh no, not the Wet Bandits. Now, Christmas Story is a classic. Did you see the new one that they released this year on HBO Max?
No, I don't think so.
It has all the same cast. Ralphie's back, the mom, Randy, all of them, the same actors are back. It's really well done. It didn't seem like a cheap something that is just a money grab. It seemed like they really had the passion in that project. I enjoyed it. So if you have that, I'd recommend checking that out. So now, before we get to all of the other news, there are some PSAs that I want to give to the community. First, we have a coordinated assault coming up this tomorrow, actually. But in the daily rewards, in your Strike Pass rewards, if you have not claimed this yet, and I'm leading with this because I don't want you to claim this yet until coordinated assault goes live. We have ISO 8 energy, which you need to spend for this coordinated assault. Don't claim this yet. I sent out a message as soon as it went live. Hopefully you did not claim this, and hopefully you're watching this in time that do not claim this. So did you claim your ISO 8 energy of this Strike Pass yet?
Honestly, I don't think I got to number 6 yet, so that's probably the only reason. I'm notorious for claiming things early, but
nice.
I put up the word as well with my alliance and whatnot to try and save that ISO energy.
Now, coordinated assault is always a controversial topic because it's an alliance-wide milestone. It's tied to these month-long milestones, which means that if your entire alliance doesn't participate, you could potentially not make all the milestones for the month-long milestones. So what do you think about having this run on Christmas? And what do you think about this event in total? Do you think they need to rework this or lower the score to maybe the 100,000 that it was before? What do you think they should do with this? Or do you think it's fine the way it is?
Well, it's kind of a tough call. My alliance usually finishes this with a few hours remaining on the clock. It's always kind of close, and the leadership has to be yelling at people, hey, go do this.
I'm sure that's fun.
I really don't like this being run over the holiday. It seems like we always tell Scopely, hey, you need to give us a break during the holidays so that we can enjoy some time away from the screen. And they tend to do the opposite, trying to keep us engaged as if we're going to, go open up presents on Christmas Day and forget about Marvel Strike Force, the game we've been playing for years addictively, Like, they need to let us rest, but they don't. They tend to do the opposite. So it doesn't surprise me that they're running this over Christmas. I'm kind of frustrated that it is as tough as it is. Like, I don't know, maybe they should make some tiers of it or something, because there's a lot of uncoordinated alliances and newer people coming into the game that aren't in a great alliance and they want to get better at this. And this is a pretty steep climb for some of them. Of course, the veteran players, the bigger alliances, this thing gets cleared pretty easy even after the changes that they've made. But it's kind of a mixed bag for me. I really just don't want them running it over the holiday. That's frustrating.
Yeah, I'd like them to changes as well. Now, I guess if we're looking the bright side of things, all you need to do is really use your ISO 8 energy. You don't have to do this. You don't have to log in every 2 hours to do a blitz rotation or anything like that. It's not as grindy as it could be. You just do this once a day, log in, make sure everybody does all their ISO 8 attacks or uses all their ISO 8 energy. But you need the entire alliance to do it. That would be my problem. Now, it said this is mostly a positive. I think that's the main negative thing that we're gonna do. The rest of this should be pretty positive. There's another PSA that I want to get out there, and this is something that was here for a while that I just found out about this morning. This anti-venom node. Heroes 4-6. I'm going to be farming this every day, even though I don't need these anti-venom shards. Has gold orb fragments in this. Did you know about this?
Yes, I heard about this a little while ago.
How did I not know about this?
Well, the thing is that the gear in this node is non-existent. And so it's, do you want to be spending your energy farming teal gear or do you want to be farming gold? And for me, I hit that node quite a bit because I'm that smaller, that minority that I've got enough of the training mats, but I don't have the gold. And of course we're building minions right now.
It feels so
that's
bad.
we'll get there. But yeah, I need gold. So I've been hitting this node a lot. And then I think we have a training mat coming up in the villains section someplace.
Yeah, the villains 4-6 is where you can get that training mat. So it's not out yet. But if we go to 4-6 where you could farm Dagger, is it Dazzler? Dagger. This is Dagger, right?
Yeah.
I get the names confused.
Oh, you and me both.
Then you get the training orbs here, which I need a lot. This is something I'm gonna be farming every day, which leads to my next question. When do you think we're gonna get these villains 3-4 campaigns? Is it gonna be sometime next week, or is it gonna be sometime in January?
It'll be when Mobile Gamer tells me it's going to come out. That's probably how it works for me. No,
we're gonna listen
I kind of think they're going to tie it in with U.S. Agents event because he's we're thinking he's the month-long event character. He's a villain. I was just kind of thinking they might try and tie it in with that, but I don't know. I kind of just wait and see until it comes out in the data mines and they go, oh, okay, it's coming out then. And, when it comes to node farming, once these nodes become available, you just look and farm those instead of whatever the old stuff was, because the newer the release of these nodes, the better the gear and stuff inside them. And of course, I'll be going after training mats on that node like everybody else will.
Yeah, this is gonna be a daily farm for me, even though Dagger's at 7 stars. It's all about those training mats. And a lot of times I'm just spending the campaign energy on just random things, because normally what I want is these SBCs. After I do the villains 1, 2, and then the heroes 1, 2, I'm not really sure what to farm. So I'm going to be farming these on a daily basis. So now that the PSAs are out of the way, let's get to the big thing that everybody is worried about right now. And that is death, the Death Scourge event. Right now, my best score is 1.2, as you can see. I did a run with difficulty 8, all the minion scourges on. Using, and was pretty easy. Now I'm doing a more difficult run. I'm kind of stuck at that minion section, so I'm having to build up. How well have you done so far? What is your best score so far, and what is your target that you're eventually wanting to hit?
Before I tell mine, click that Scourge modifier button there in the top left corner. Let's see how many points you've got lit up. Oh, okay. Wow, you're going harder than mine. Okay.
This is my final run. This is my big run that I'm going for.
This is your big run?
So
okay,
this is why the minions are struggling right now. My first run is very, very easy. This is a difficult run.
I ran through and just unlocked Archangel so I could get him going for raids. And then I went back and I am on difficulty 8 with 218 modifiers lit up right now. Okay. And that's going to put me somewhere around like the 2.2 million range, which I will be comfortable sitting at. And then I'll wait until the very end of the event and kind of see where things play out and look at my roster and decide, do I want to make a third attempt and try and push for what appears to be like getting into the near 3 mil range, which is going to be a trick for me. I'm not as crafty as other people are at this. So I'm not sure if I want to push that hard and get that grindy in it. So I'm just going to get myself into a safe spot with a 2.2 mil run, and then I'll come back and look at it.
Now, what are you predicting for that 2.2? I'm not sure where the scores lie. Do you think that's going to be a 5-star Archangel, a 6-star Archangel? And where do you want to get your Archangel after this?
So I'd like to be 5 yellow, 4 red.
Okay.
And I think that puts me in the top 18,000 somewhere, or top 13,500. We've got some infographics out there with some good guesstimations on that. So that's where I'm thinking right now. That's where I'd like to be. I didn't push as hard as I should have on Red Hulk, and I'm kind of regretting it because he's a little bit squishier than I expected him to be. So this raid team is important to me. I want to do good in raids, and so I do want to push real hard. If I get 5 yellow, 4 red, however, he's going to be doing just fine for what I need him to do in raids. I don't plan on using him in arena, so I don't need to completely go nuts. But like I said, if I'm not too busy during the holidays, and if people don't get too carried away with their Scourge runs, and I think that I can get into that next bracket with 6 yellow, or 6 yellow, 4 red, then I'll make an attempt at it. But if it looks like that's going to be a really challenging push, I just won't waste my time on it. I'm not going to burn a whole day refreshing nodes, you know?
Yeah, I think that craftiness just comes down to getting that good RNG on a lot of these runs, and how many times you have to reset it. Now, where do you think the cutoff is going to be for that 6-star and a 7-star as far as totals? Do you think it's going to be in 3 million for 6-star, or 3 million a little over 3 million will get you 7 stars? Where do you think these cutoff numbers are going to be right now?
Well, what's our scores at right now? You want to bring those up?
The top score right now is at 3.6. I'm very low. I'm at like 11,000 right now, so I don't know where we're at. But
okay, so I'm thinking that a 3 mil run should get you awfully close to 7 yellow stars, but don't take my word for it. And I think 7 yellows for most of us is an unrealistic goal. That's just the hyper competitive kind of big spender type people are going to be shooting for that. I think 6 stars is a much more realistic goal. And if you get 3 million, you shouldn't have any trouble getting 6 stars. So.
Yeah, I think not just the competitive people. You need a large roster, and you need to spend all that time and with those bad refreshes and doing a lot of runs. So it's a grind, and you need a large roster here. So I'm
enjoying the competition between some of the content creators who are. I'm in a chat with some of them, and they're literally showing up side by side in the rankings, and they have to, and then you can just see them go, oh, I got to go back just to beat this one person, not the higher score. They just have to beat this one person, and so they keep refreshing and going back in. That's
kind of the fun of it. That's kind of the fun of it. I like that.
Competing with your friends,
Yeah, and it's not about beating other people in the community. It's just beating that one person.
Just that one person.
That's all that matters. I don't care where the stars are. I just need to beat this one person. I love that. That's fun. Now, as far as Death Scourge tips, I think the big problem sections right now for most people are going to be the minions. Now, in your first run for your unlock, what did you use for your minions?
For the first run, I basically used whatever I had built, which happened to be Merc Lieutenant, Merc Riot Guard, and I think there were 3 AIM members that were the highest on my list, but they were very minuscule. It was the Mercs that carried them through, and that was a difficulty 5 with just the minion modifiers on it.
Gotcha. Now,
and I basically, that was like a full auto run through it for my roster, and like I said, the Mercs survived, the AIM minions did not.
I heard, obviously everybody's saying that the initial thoughts was the 3 Ravagers because they just got reworked, and then those Mercs, and I paired that's the easiest right now. I went with the AIM. I did difficulty 8 with the Scourges on, and I think I put a few more levels since I tried that hard run. And the difficulty 8 was full auto, pretty much. I don't know what happened there because I was like, this battle is taking a long time. They're not dying. I'm not losing health, so I'm just gonna put it on auto. They got through both of the nodes, but as I'm trying that more difficult run with all those Scourges, I'm finding they're not working as good. So I'm building up my Ravager Boomer, Ravager Bruiser, and hopefully I have enough time and enough training mats to build them up to have a good run. So
yeah, that's basically what I did as well. I'm coming back around, and I'm going to be using the Ravagers in conjunction with my Mercs. And I'm in this really weird spot. I can't believe this, but I am not building my Apex raid team because I'm spending all my gold on minions. Like, what is going on in this world? So here I am trying to build up my boomer so that I can get through those first 2 nodes on difficulty 8 with the modifiers that I have. And I think I've got my Ravagers at like 60 and 65, and I've had to refresh a couple of times, and I just yesterday made it through that section. But if I want to go back through with, what is it? I think it's like 386 modifiers, which is everything but the health modifiers and the zombification. That seems to be a popular number.
Zombification seems very hard. I'm not going to do that, Scourge.
And then those health ones. So I'm thinking about going back through with those. And if I do that, I'm going to have to bring my Ravagers up to something more like what you've got there, 75s and stuff. Gotcha. Maybe even throw some of that orange gear on them, which I don't really want to do. But I just want to be done with that, and I want to start raiding with... I want to build my Nemesis character up because he looks like a lot of fun, and he's sitting at the bottom of my roster at level 1 right now, and that's not cool.
Well, you mentioned how you're not building up a raid team right now. You kind of are by building up your minions, right?
Exactly.
Because
it's to get more stars on Archangel.
Yeah, it's all about Archangel because you'll eventually get the training mats and gold and all that stuff. So you could build up Nemesis later. You could build up Archangel later, but who knows when you're going to get more stars on Archangel? So you kind of are building your Deathseed right now.
That's what it's about. It's the long-term goal. And my alliance is really nice that they are running. We're rerunning older Dooms right now during the holidays, making sure everybody got their first time rewards, giving the rest of us a little bit of a break so we can auto through some of that stuff. And so there's no need for me to bring up that Deathseed. But, come New Year's, I think the push is on. Everybody's talking about it. They're like, we're wanting to go hard. And so come New Year's, I'm going to be, switching gears and spending on Nemesis or spending my gold on Nemesis and getting going on that raid team.
Yeah, I think a lot of the alliances are pushing for that. I think my alliance is waiting till after the holidays as well to start going for some 100% of that. Have you guys attempted Doom 3.5 yet? Have you got a 100% on Doom 3.4? Neither of us. Neither have we. But we're waiting till after the holidays, after everybody gets their Archangel and builds up their Deathseed for all that stuff.
Yeah, so, we're waiting for the red stars on Archangel so that everybody can get through that mutant section.
All right, so the other section that talking about, the mutant section, the non-hero mutant section in this. Now, what have you used for this on your first run? What are you hearing about the best characters here? I know Dorky Dad's video had the Dad Bros, X23, which is why I'm starting to build them up. Gambit, I use Gambit instead of the other character that he said because Gambit was built up pretty big. So what have you used in this, and what have you found the best success within the non-legendary mutant section?
So my first run was pretty much whatever the biggest was in my roster, and I hit auto, and it rolled right through it. That wasn't a problem. Let me see what I'm doing. I think it was, I think I did something like I brought in Storm and Cyclops to charge them up for other stuff, and I had a little bit of trouble because they weren't built. Like I had to keep refreshing because every time they got hit, they'd die off. And so it was more about the RNG on that part right there. But I brought those 2 in, and I brought in Gambit, I think, and might have been the Dad Bros and Gambit with Storm, I believe is what I used, and charged them up.
All right, so the other problem section that people are finding is difficulty 8 seems possible for a lot of players, but I think the limiting factor going to difficulty 9 is going to be these war dogs. Right. How big are your war dogs, and how big do you think they need to be for difficulty 9?
Well, mine aren't big enough. I've only got Naki at gear tier 13. That's not cutting it. She's getting clipped off. My Bionic Avengers aren't good enough. They're the SAC team you run. So yeah, it's all about the war dogs on this one. So I will... If I decide to go that third run and push real hard, I'm probably going to have to come back and boost up my War Dogs. However, the good news is that the War Dogs are a fabulous Cosmic Crucible team, war team. They're fast and powerful. They're fun to play as. You can mix and match some of the characters. We have some footage that was just coming out with a glitch with Killmonger. And where his chain attack, if he chains off of somebody and kills them, he'll just focus on the next person and just keep using his chain attacks on that one person until he runs out.
Lovely.
That benefits us, so I'm sure that's going to get fixed before I finish this sentence.
We didn't say that. Dabs, it's not broken. Keep it like that.
But yeah, I love the War Dog team. I kind of thought they were going to be a trap, but they're just so powerful. It kind of reminds me of the Young Avengers, how the Young Avengers are such a sturdy team and they're useful everywhere just because they're a good team. Not because they're anything special in any one spot, but they're just a good team. This kind of reminds me of that. They've got the speed, Black Panther coming back after the kills and getting people. Like, if you're paying attention to who's low on health, you can just keep going and going with him and really blow through some of these nodes.
I think one thing you said about them, they're good in Crucible, they're good in War. You also said they're fun. I think that's the biggest thing. This is the team that I'm having the most fun with. And the great thing is when I see them on defense in Crucible or War, they're not that bad. They're not that bad on defense. So they're easy to beat on defense. And when you use them, they just smash. They're so fast. You get so many turns. This is the team that I'm having the most fun with right now. I love the War Dogs right now. They're so fun.
You see that Spider Weaver on defense and you're like, I'll just toss in Emma and take them down. And they're that fast. So
yeah, they take it out. I love it. I love it. This team is so good.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to talk about the next team, the team that these guys unlock. We've been talking about them a little bit, the Deathseed team. Now, I know you said you haven't built them up, but what have you heard about this full Deathseed team? How they're performing? What are they doing in raids? What are they doing in Cosmic Crucible? What are they doing in War? How strong is this team? Are they everything that they were built to be?
So I'm hearing amazing things about them in raid. I am replacing Nemesis with Rogue and sometimes Omega Red right now and practicing with them, and they're getting me through the mutant section without Nemesis right now. I have to slow play it, and there's RNG, and it's not that great.
Nice.
But what I hear is that if you toss in Nemesis, it's almost just hit auto. It's that like you can pilot it on auto and get through these nodes really easily. I'm finding a little bit of like the way that Archangel's abilities time out and stuff like that. I'm like, I can't really utilize his abilities to the max, but his stats are so good that at 3 stars, he's damaging people, he's killing people, and he's giving off that energy. One time I was able to get their Sinister to clone my Archangel, and then I used my Dark Beast to clone their Archangel, so I had 2 on the field, and I was giggling.
Oh my goodness.
It was so much fun, all this energy flying around and stuff. So,
I love that.
So it's a fun raid team. They seem to work really well. They feel powerful. And I'm watching other people use Nemesis, and I'm like, look at all those bleeds. Look at all those debuffs just throwing out on the field. You know, they get clumped together, and you get so much more out of this team with Magneto and stuff. So I like it. Also, I am hearing in Crucible, among other places, that this team can take on Dormhold, which I have not had the chance to test that. I was in a very competitive Crucible this last time. Unfortunately, I lost, but barely. I wasn't going to try that team to see it, but I think next time around, I'm going to be giving it a shot and trying it, taking them off of defense and using them on offense and see how they handle against the Dormhold team. If that's the case, that's going to be a powerful offensive tool. So that's pretty amazing in and of itself. Not to mention on defense, they soak up some turns because of the blinds and stuff that are coming out. It takes a second to get through this team. They're not going to get you any defensive victories, at all, but they do soak up some of the efficiency in Crucible. And as for War, I haven't really used them in War. My alliance it's the holidays. We're not really paying attention. It's just get your attacks done.
Yeah, I've kind of avoided the team in War right now, but I did have to face one in Crucible. Chat was saying this morning, very easily countered by Infinity Watch, but I had me on Infinity Watch on defense. So went in with the Morgan Le Fay and the rest of the Darkhold, and they beat them pretty easily. But that was the Darkhold, so
you're piloting the Darkhold, so you know who to shut down and everything. So it works out pretty well. But I'm in the same boat. I had my Infinity Watch on defense, and I came across one of these on defense, and I was like, oh no! I ended up losing on efficiency by like 35 points or something like that. And I was like, that's the Deathseed team.
That's the horror and the fun of Cosmic Crucible. When it's like, oh man, the stakes are so high. I want to win, and it's going to come down to just a little bit more efficiency than the other person. So that's I love it and hate it at the same. Not hate it. I love it, and it's stressful at the same time. All right, let's move on to another friendly event going on, and it got a little bit of hate because of the difficulty, but I kind of like the difficulty of how the Guardians stole Grootmas event. This has a lot of great first-time rewards here. And if you go into the game, you have a lot of this teal gear that you could get, and you're getting a lot of this energy. It runs a long time. But I guess the big question is it worth building up your Guardian for some of these great first-time rewards, including a lot of power cores, a lot of gear. You have some fully crafted gears, some fully crafted orange, and at the end, some fully crafted teal gear. What did you think about the difficulty? What do you think about the rewards? And is it worth building up your Guardians just for this event?
The difficulty felt all over the place as I went through this. Some of them, because I've got a great big Gamora and I don't have that big of a Guardians team otherwise. And Gamora carries you, right? If you're gonna build anything for this, build Gamora. I don't think it's worth building the rest of them. I don't like building Guardians for the Nowhere event, Star-Lord and Rocket. I just think you're spending
not
more
even for the dark
resources
promos,
than what you're getting out of it.
Promos? They sell things for hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
I would stop at gear tier 12 or whatever the lower cutoff is. I wouldn't take them to 15 or I don't remember what the Nowhere event is, but I didn't do it. I didn't get the last tier of the Nowhere event. I just left my Guardians basically where they were at. And so Gamora carries your team through this. If you time her abilities just right, you can special and clear the field and you can 3-star it even with really low powered other characters. I think that Drax has some utility in War and Crucible as a pre-taunt tank. And so having him up to a gear tier 12 is probably acceptable. That's not a waste. You could still use him in there to draw the first attack from people. I think that Star-Lord and Rocket have the Nowhere event, but like I said, I don't think that's worth it to build them very high. And then otherwise, it's Gamora.
Yeah, Gamora carries that node. Now, I did build up the Rocket and Star-Lord for that first Nowhere event. As soon as I heard it's coming back and it's going to be a repeating event, I'm like, all right, this sucks to build up Invisible Woman and Dr. Octopus and these other characters and Star-Lord and Groot, Rocket, not Groot, but I had them built up. They didn't do a lot, though. They didn't do a lot. It was mainly Gamora that did this. I find the hardest node here was this node, the 1-3, with this Minerva that drops, with this Korra that drops, this Ronin that drops. Even though they're not super high powered, they start at full turn meter. So I think that was the hardest one for me. And just, if I'm bragging Drax, he's getting deleted pretty early on because he has that pre-taunt and he's not very high health. So it's difficult for me to 3-star a lot of these nodes. I did get lucky with one of these, what is this? This node right here, node. 1-7. Yeah, is that mutants?
That's the mutant gear. It's the mutant gear that you get from it. So that's what I was happy about because I'm like, sweet, I can farm the mutant gear, which is what I want for my raid team right now. And I didn't really care about the rest. The first time rewards were good, and it's fine, I guess. So go ahead and click that red energy up in the top right hand corner up there. Click on that. So you don't get to refresh this. You only get what you find in the stores, which I kind of liked that. It felt like, hey, here's an event. It's free stuff and you don't have to go out of your way. You can build for it if you want, but otherwise you don't have to spend your resources on this event. I'm not refreshing this energy to go in and grind our way on that gear when we have all these layers and layers of events lately, especially during the holidays. So I kind of liked this. It was like, okay, I'm only going to get this much. I'm not competing against anybody else's spending habits on it or anything. We all just get the extra stuff that comes out.
Yeah, it's just free stuff. It's not like there's a leaderboard or anything. And even some of the first time rewards in these hard, and I don't know about the story, but the hard had some pretty good first time rewards as well. So I think this is a big win for the community. This is a very friendly event. Difficulty, yes, it's challenging. Yes, it might suck if you don't already have your Guardians built up, if you can't get through this. But I mean, even in the lore difficulty is very, very good. And Gamora is not a waste. Gamora is a great character still after all these years to build. All right. We also have another event going on right now that I think is good, that we don't have to spend power cores on this Groot event, because you probably want to spend your power cores in this Harbinger of the End. Did I pronounce that right this time?
Harbinger, yeah, you got it right.
Harbinger, okay. I always get confused on that. So this is where you want to spend your power cores, and I think that would have been not a major loss, but a loss if we had to spend power cores in the Groot event and his Harbinger of the End event. So I'm glad that they did not have that, like you mentioned that. But what do you think of this event in its entirety? It's a normal campaign event where we have to refresh these campaign nodes, which is pretty normal. friendliest character release method of all these characters. So I guess that puts a little question on what you want to spend your power core or your presence on. If you want to spend it on that expensive Nemesis or some of these other cheaper characters that are in the holiday winter store right now. We also have these 2 milestones going on right now. One is a Blitz milestone, which is pretty friendly. I think I did maybe 4 rotations total over the 2 days and done. So it's very, very nice. We have some good rewards in here as well. Unfortunately, it does have a leaderboard. The leaderboard has some really, really nice rewards for this top 250. Okay rewards for the top 1%, and then decent rewards along the way. What do you think of these rewards? What do you think of the grind? Was it too much grind, or was this just very generous release for important character?
I liked the event. I think the one drawback is probably the nodes dry up pretty fast. You know, you got to start going down to lower difficulties towards the end of it. However, because I'm refreshing 50s, we'll probably start refreshing 100s because I pulled 6 reds for him, and for the first time ever, I think I have a chance of getting him to 6 yellow stars for that.
Nice.
By saving my presence and buying his thing in the store twice, by refreshing the 100s and pushing really hard in his event to farm all these nodes as much as possible, I may actually get somewhere. And so I'm happy with this event for myself. There's not too much bad stuff about it. I blitzed a little too hard, not understanding it because they're making these things pretty complicated. But other than that, like I'm okay with it. I'm tickled pink by it, to tell you the truth.
This is a very friendly event. I didn't think it would be like this, especially when we saw the cost of the present store, how expensive Nemesis was going to be. I'm like, oh man, I
got real excited at first, and then they started upping the prices, and I was like, oh, you dirty.
I thought, but based on that 1.7 million presents you would have to spend for those 50 Nemesis shards, I thought this would be a less grindy, less friendly event. This is very friendly. This is what we expect, plus some other stuff tied to that winter event. So I'm very, very happy with this. The other thing that this brought in was this. We got more max energy for this. So normally the energy ended at 120. This is the first event where the energy or normally ends at 100. This is the first event that ends at 120. So the blog post yesterday says, in case you missed it, the max energy for the campaign has been increased to 120. This is a quality life improvement requested by many players. We're happy to include it in the Nemesis campaign event. Now it'll take you 10 full hours to max your energy out, which means that we can sleep during the holidays.
That's right.
How good is this? I mean, this is a win on many, many levels in my opinion.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This is something that the envoys were pushing for a while, right? Trying to get these campaigns so you guys could sleep at night.
Yes, there was a lot.
I don't lose sleep over Marvel Strike Force anymore. I just refuse to do it. So this doesn't affect me. The energy caps out. I'm like, oh, well, I'll watch somebody else get a little further. But I'm happy that this happened. This should have happened a long time ago.
Yeah, this is a major win, and thank the rest of the envoys and Archangel. You know, he had a little rough beginnings with some of the public comments he made, but he's really pushing for a lot, and a lot of the good that's happening. I got to give a shout out to Archangel for all the good that he's doing. I think he was one that really pushed for this. So thank you, Archangel. Keep doing your job, man. You're making things better for the community. I really appreciate that. The other thing that we got was this. Did you expect this? Second, previously mentioned, the first season of Cosmic Crucible was delayed. The teams understand it's to be disappointing for players anticipating end of season rewards. As an appreciation for your patience, we're sending all players 50,000 Crucible credits, 19,000 Elite Crucible credits. How many shards of Gambit can you get with that? That is very nice for this season. So, were you surprised by this?
If they hadn't have put this in the blog post, I would have thought it was an erroneous mistake. Like, this is so out of context for them. It's just. But I'm super happy about this. This is a fantastic consolation to us not getting new room bonuses in Cosmic Crucible. I'm sick of Age of X. But if they couldn't change it, this is a great consolation prize for us. I know that I needed those gold triangles, whatever they're calling that currency. I can't keep up with all the currency in this game.
This one.
I needed
that one.
The Elite Crucible credits. There we go. Yeah, I needed those badly because I'm farming Hulkbuster and Abomination both in there. I have Gambit to 6 stars. So I'm pushing for the other 2, trying to get those guys up, build my Gamma team for the variety of reasons, and then, of course, build my Hulkbuster for raids because it's all about raids for me right now.
Nice. Yeah, I was gonna stop. I got them to 6 stars. I want to stop, but I was like, hey, we got this. I guess I'll build another character. I love this. This is a great holiday gift. I like this. So good on Scopely for preemptively doing this before the community is like, hey, what happened? Why we should have got these rewards. So this is awesome, and I hope they do this again. I hope to do this at the end of the season. Oh, it actually says that there. The season 1 rewards will still be delivered at the end of the season, so we're getting this twice.
Right.
So I like this. This is awesome. This is
and the Crucible store itself is actually pretty good. I kind of like the way they've got that set up too. So I'm in. It's another positive on the pile here.
Very good. A lot of these stuff. We got other character shards that are not as coveted, but you can still get these shards, and then still good stuff in the Crucible store. Now, as far as the stores, were you aware that there was a bug last night in the supply store?
Yes, I heard about this. I see it on Reddit. I saw some pictures were sent to me where let me
buy this now.
If it didn't state how many you own under it, if that was left blank, you could just keep spending your gold on it over and over as many times as you wanted.
It wouldn't gray out.
It wouldn't gray out.
You would have to spend the gold, so it wasn't like you're getting free stuff, but you wouldn't have to refresh it and get us stuff. It was fixed very fast. Is this a big deal, or is this just...
Hey, this game is about being on it at all times, being vigilant of all the mistakes that come through, watching your favorite streamers all day long so that you can be on top of these little things that come through. And if you're putting in that kind of work, congratulations, you got to spend a bunch of gold during a gold spending event and not have to spend your cores. It didn't last that long. I don't care if they compensate me for this or not. Had the people been getting it for free, that would have been a huge deal.
That would be different.
People were spending their gold on it, and it's fine, whatever.
I've got the same attitude. I'm like, hey, good for you guys. Glad you guys got more stuff. So the big question that this brought up on chat, though, when this was here, we got all this Teal gear that some people were getting. There was mention of a Teal War Orb coming sometime. They didn't mention a date, so I guess it could be sometime in 2023 that we're getting this. But when do you think we're getting this Teal War Orb in the store? Do you think we're getting it before the end of the year?
When they bring a fourth war currency?
Oh, jeez. Really?
Too many people are hoarding now. They let us know about it and then drug their feet. And there's going to be people with a gajillion credits for that thing. So... I don't know how they're going to make... how are they going to entice the hoarders to spend their currency? How are they going to entice the hoarders to spend their currency? Because there will be a drastic imbalance of in-game currency and in-game gear for people who hoarded and who didn't. And they don't like those imbalances.
Shouldn't we be rewarded for hoarding all these months and months and months and not spending our currency on anything?
I'm frustrated with the hoarding in Marvel Strike Force. I advocate that the mailbox now just notifies that you received the items, and they just, when you achieve them, they instantly go into your account. So we just aren't even allowed to hoard in our mailbox.
Oh, it's kind of like
that's annoying to have to scroll down to the last day and see, oh, is this on day one? How many hours do I have left? Do I need this? Let me go sift through all the spreadsheets and see who's telling me to save what.
Yeah, I didn't spend this. I didn't claim this. I didn't claim this. I'm hoarding stuff right now, too.
We've had these surprise events pop up on us now. So we don't even know. We can't even look to the data mines for information. And it's very frustrating because people want to be at the forefront of everything. They want to be the most competitive they can be. They want to min-max everything. And so they're trying to be as efficient with their mailbox hoarding as possible. That wasn't an intended game mode. We're not supposed to be competing at hoarding in this game. That's not fun for me. So I'm frustrated with the amount of hoarding. I don't know when that orb is going to come. I'm not sure if it ever will. I think they put themselves in a corner here, and they're going to have to come up with something. And honestly, I would not be surprised if they came up with a new currency for that orb so that everybody would be starting at the same page.
Hey, so when do you, as far as timing of this, they talked about Icarus being farmable in one of their blog posts. They talked about a War Orb coming. What do you think is coming first, a War Orb or a farmable Icarus?
I think they forgot that Icarus exists. I don't think he's ever going to come to the game.
You can buy him for presents. You can buy him in a Strike Pass. Is that farmable, or is the Strike Pass indicated that, oh, now he's going to the arena store?
I do think that Icarus will become farmable first. I think more people are screaming about that. It's the squeaky wheel gets the grease situation, and more people are saying Icarus's name than they are saying War Orb. And that's all it boils down to.
So is this an indication? Because a lot of times previously, I mean, they don't really follow a pattern now, but previously when a character went to Strike Pass, then they become farmable very, very soon. We've had Hulkbuster, Abomination in the last one. Now they're in the Crucible store. Does this mean that now he's going to the Arena store?
I think that they're testing out different ways of giving us character shards. We've got, this present store is kind of a new way of giving them out, the way they're doing it for a week, 4 different weeks, changing it up, things like that. They're testing some stuff out. So there's no way to say for sure. And I know it's a non-answer, but there's no way to say for sure when Icarus is going to come. We kept thinking it was going to happen. And I'm tired of being Charlie Brown and having the football pulled out from underneath me. So I don't even want to make any speculation as to when Icarus is going to come out anymore. Mine got to 7 stars somehow along the way. So I'm
going to do it. I'm going to put my foot down, Ron.
Let's do it.
I'm going to say Heartless is going out of that Arena Orb and Icarus is going in. And then later he's going to be in that increased cost and somebody else will go in there. So he will eventually be farmed. But
all right, I'll double down on that. I think you're right, but I think that inflation is going to hit that store and they're going to increase the prices when they come out. When they come out of the orb, they're going to be more expensive than they ever were.
Or maybe there's just a counter that they're going to release for Icarus before he goes into that store.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right. We got some more good news on MSF.GG. They're making it easier to switch between multiple devices. Viewing your inventory and roster still available on MSF.GG. Progress in web stores, and this site has got a lot faster claiming your store items, your free store items, claiming your free milestones. Yeah, good stuff on MSF.GG. Have you noticed the faster sync with MSF.GG and your in-game? And are you using the roster and inventory section, which has been a want for the community for so long? Is that something that's being used a lot in your community?
I should be using it more often. However, I'm the type of player that if I don't need to build a character any bigger, I don't. And so my characters are all working at the levels that they're at for the most part, other than skill. I totally got wrecked this morning in skill. But I don't know if there's a new skill team coming out or if they're going to add to the Secret Avengers. So I don't know if I want to build on that team or not. I'm kind of waiting. So I have a plethora of everything in my inventory, and I don't need to sift through it right now. If I come up with a strategy for which teams I need to prioritize and build, I will be going in there. One thing that kind of sucks is that I started playing this because it was a mobile game, not a browser game. And it kind of sucks that we have to go to the website and sift through all this stuff. But if they're going to make us go down that path, at least they're making that path as comfortable to walk as possible.
Yeah, I agree. I wish I could do everything in game and not have to switch between my browser and on my phone and go back to the game and all that. Is a little hassle-some, but I know why they're doing it. They want us to go to the store every single day and see all the stuff, and they want us to spend.
They want us to spend in their store so they can skip the middleman and reap the benefits. What sucks is if they wanted us to go to the store all the time, they should have just made those prices a little bit cheaper over there than they are in game and let us collect a little bit of the savings by skipping the middleman as well. But they're not going to do that. They're going to go full greedy and then make us go to their web store instead. I mean, It is what it is. This company is all about their bottom line, and it's been that way since day one. They're pushing us in the holidays. They're pushing us to their web store. They don't give much back, except in the Grootmas event, I guess, is something that they did pretty nice.
And our CC rewards. That was very
that's right.
Nice.
That was unexpected. So props to them for that.
Yeah, and hopefully we get some good stuff this holiday season as well. The chat was saying we got a bunch of stuff last year, and I don't remember, so I guess that's not a huge topic. But if you guys remember what we had last year for the holidays, let me know, because neither of us could remember what happened last year.
Yeah.
And it's time for the latest DATAMINEs. These are always fun to get like a preview of what is coming in Marvel Strike Force. U.S. Agent, he's already in the game as far as his inbox message, so he could be coming anytime soon. Supposed to be a part of this Rebirth team, which is supposed to be the next solution for their bio raid team, but we already have the Web Warriors that do well. The Gamma does very well. He's going to be in the upcoming Super Patriot event, which you alluded to is potentially a month-long milestone event. My question, how necessary is this Rebirth team right now? And just by what you see here, is this what indicates the month-long milestone event? Is it the name of the event? Is that there's an orb here? What is the month-long milestone? Or is it other data mines that I did not see?
So mostly everybody just assumes he's going to be the month-long event character. It's either that or Peggy Carter, and I think Peggy Carter is going to be more of a campaign event. So
yeah, we got data mines about that as well.
Yeah, so I'm assuming this is going to be the month-long event. The reason I jumped to that conclusion is just because everybody else is saying it, to be honest.
Okay. So I don't know. I like the store. I wanted them to continue with that, but maybe that was just a special gift for the holidays that we could choose our character shards.
He does seem to be a pretty critical part of the team, being he's changing speed bar for this team. That's always super important. And so a lot of times the more important the character, the more they tend to put him in the month-long events, so that you have to do all the other little events to ensure that you get this one.
And we got a lot of characters with shields as well. So there's a lot of blocks. Every time they block, they're going to fill speed bar for self and Rebirth allies by 5%. Captain America blocks, Peggy Carter blocks, US Agents is going to have a lot of block. And the damage is going to be from Winter Soldier and what is the Agent Venom. Agent Venom. All right, next data mine. We also have about the Power Broker, another event coming up. For this one, you could win some Dark Beast shards, Dark promo credits. For this, you're gonna have to spend gold. So there's a gold spending milestone right now. I'm not sure if you should save your gold now during this milestone or save it for this one. Crucible battles. So make sure you do your Crucible battles, win your Crucible battles. And so it might be better if you're a heavy turtle person going full offense during this time. And battling an alliance war in a separate milestone related to this event.
This event, it feels like they're pushing a lot of gold spending events right now because they don't want to give us the training mats. And they figure everybody's like, oh, we don't have any training mats. And they're like, well, we'll just sap all your gold for the next couple of events. And then you won't have either. And so you won't worry about it so much or something, because I don't hear anything about giving us a lot of training mats. I hear everything about these gold spending events, which I'm out of gold. I have been for a while.
Yeah, that was the exact question I wanted to ask. You had the answer. I didn't even have the question in my head, so thank you for that. The other thing I knew that we wanted to talk about was this 6 red star Dormammu, which there's more info in the data mines about more red stars for Dormammu coming, but top 10, so 10 players will get a 6 red Dormammu for free. So not only are they giving away dark promo credits, but some people can bypass all of that.
I would hesitate to use the term free when you're talking about the top 10 players in MSF.
Good point. Millions and millions and millions of gold. All of your Alliance War attacks. Who can spend the most gold? Who saved the most gold orbs, and who's going to spend the most on gold? I guess that's true. Gold for dark promo credits is how to equate this to. All right, and last but not least, the data mines about the Peggy Carter. Now, this one says that she's going to be coming in a Woman Out of Time event, Lost in Time orb, and limited time offers. So it says an event, it says an orb, and limited time offers. Same thing they say for US Agent. So by looking at both of these, and it looks like US Agent is going to be the first one in the game, which would be more of an indication of him being a month-long milestone character. What are you suspecting this is going to be? Is it going to be a campaign release like the Nemesis type event, or something else?
I think it's going to be very similar to the Nemesis event. I think it's going to be campaign, and we'll go through it. People will be able to get a big Captain Carter, and then I think the sticking point for this team, the character that's going to be hard to get, is Agent Venom. I think a lot of people are excited for him because he's a symbiote, although he's not going to do the symbiotes any good. I think he's just a popular character, so that's going to be the one that they kind of hold back. Every team has that character that they hold back. My guess, and it's a total guess, is that Agent Venom is going to be that character that's hard to get. Peggy Carter will be the campaign event, and US Agent will be the month-long event.
I like that character. He looks just like Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. It brings like memories from my childhood.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, he looks just like him. So, But that is it. That is it. That is all we got on the news this for this holiday edition of the weekly news update. Any final thoughts? Any final holiday wishes that you have, Varun?
You know, I think that it's been a relatively good patch. Few bugs. I'm hoping that we're turning a corner and going to try and end this year in Marvel Strike Force on a positive note. I think that they did a pretty good job. I mean, we didn't have much to complain about, and even the bad things, they kind of gave us something as a consolation. And so, yeah, it was pretty good. I guess the only thing I have to say is, stay warm out there as it gets cold. We got our Santa hats on here.
I'm trying. This is not just for decoration. This is to keep
right.
me warm here, and it's very
chilly.
cold. It's very cold. I've got my thermal on underneath my shirt because it's so cold here. So stay warm, stay safe, guys. Looks like positive things for the holidays in MSF, at least so far. I hope I don't speak too soon, but it looks like all good stuff so far. So except maybe Coordinated Assault, everything else seems very, very positive in Marvel Strike Force. Thank you once again, Run. Very, very always a pleasure to talk to you. The links for your channel, anything else you want to promote will be down below. Do you have anything coming up on your channel holiday wise that you want to promote?
I'm going to be doing an interview of Purple Sticky on stream on Friday, and then the rest of my content will filter out for this year. But I think I'm going to be taking the rest of the year off from both stream and YouTube and just spending some time with family, resting. Doing all those interviews that I do it's exhausting. It's a lot of work, and
you have a whole series of them, right?
Yeah, I do. Every Christmas season, I do that. Yeah, we had one, and I got a bunch of them out there. Just trying to learn the skill. You went to school for it. I'm just roughing it here on Twitch and YouTube. So
not for YouTube though. I went for like the old school traditional stuff. This is like new to me. Well, it was new to me.
So I learned a lot just from our interview. So that was great.
Cool. Well, awesome. Thank you guys. Check out the interviews. He's got some awesome interviews. Lots of great content creators in there. Links will be down below. Check me out on social media if you want to support the channel. Check out some of the sponsors down below, including Amazon coins, and I'll see you guys next time. You ready for the holiday fist bump run? There it is. There's a holiday fist bump. ValleyFlyin Run 7 out. Have a great one, guys.